Hello, everybody. Hopefully my mic is right. Let me check. Yes. Okay, cool. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm always changing my mic settings, doing all these voice acting things now. Hello, and this is Austin behind me, as you can see, because Austin's going to be my victim today. Austin is going to be the one whose tarot I'm going to be reading live for you before I do a giveaway. So I'll do a monthly spread for tarot. You'll see how it works, and you'll see what spread I'm going to do, and then we'll do a Nightbot giveaway in the chat to see if any of you need your mystical future read for the month ahead. It is the beginning of the month. It's September 4th, so it's a good time to do tarot readings because we're going to get a full, complete... What is your September like, Austin? What do you think it's going to be like?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's optimistic. I'm going to turn up my mic just a little. Also, I think I'm going to... Well, I don't know. I can half vibe. I can put on some music and I can kind of hear it. I might be able to...
I brought my guitar. I could
do the... Oh, no. Okay, no. We're not going to have you do dulcet guitar sounds in the background. I'm going to put on my lo-fi hip-hop. My chilled music radio. No, I don't want an ad. Leave me alone.
Oh, that's unskippable.
Yeah, but the rest of it's ad-free. Here we go. Some nice chill tunes. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. Audio's good. Great. Thank you, Neb. But yeah, Neb was so kind. Shout out to Neb for setting up Nightbot for us. Now that we have a little bit more control over the chat. YouTube, the transition over to YouTube is still a work in progress. I still don't have memberships or anything like that set up. But, you know, we're doing it every day as we can, as it comes.
I like the pop-out chat.
I do like the pop-out chat. I mean, they have that on Twitch, too.
Yeah.
And honestly, the fact that you can only pop it out and you can't actually move it around, that's kind of annoying. They need to fix that. They're definitely like 3 or 4 years behind Twitch in terms of integration and functionality. But we'll get there. And we'll soon have memberships where we'll have emotes and those sorts of things to be able to play with very soon. We might even have more emotes than we do on Twitch. I might even have to design some more emotes.
How do you do that on YouTube?
So the way it works on YouTube is essentially they give you 4 right out the gate, and then your number of emote slots is not tied to a partnership or a gatekeeper system, but is simply tied to how many members you have. So you can get up to 50 emotes. Now granted, you get your 50 emotes by having like 5,000 memberships, some insane amount. But if you get like 100 members, you can get like 15.
But they're free subscribers when you say members.
They're not free.
They're not?
They're not, no. Basically, I will set the price, but I can set it as low as $2.99 a month instead of the $4.99 or $5.99, which Twitch is.
Go follow Austin Bites on YouTube.
Yes, also, while Austin is here, Austin, why don't you talk about the streaming that you've been doing lately?
Lately, I've been just playing games on the Switch. And last time I overheated my capture card, so I'm going to use the better capture card, or at least put a cable between the capture card and the electrical output. But it was fun still. And as I go forward, I'm going to start doing probably like a 10-minute musical intro to say hello to the people in the chat, because I'm practicing for my music therapy stuff, and I'm supposed to be practicing openings and closings with you know, like live music and incorporating the mood and how people are feeling and stuff like that. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be adding in when I get more comfortable with the whole streaming setup and my roommate starts going back to work instead of sitting in the house all day.
Yeah, because roommate has COVID.
He started going back to work on Thursday.
Yeah, go old school. Yeah, no, YouTube is kind of old school, but a friend and I were actually talking about this the other day about how, like, the future is absolutely gonna go back to being analog just because it's the only reliable form of a lot of things. I mean, this was MJ and I, we were talking about how, like, millennials are going to have to get to a point where we can, like, garden our own food and make our own clothes and do all that.
Thank you, Neb, because I need 100 before I can change my name from a bunch of letters to...
He's very close, though. You're at 61 or 62 at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Right now, I just want to be able to change it from some eldritch incantation.
So you can do youtube.com/AustinBites, yeah. Yeah, that'd be really good. It's really convenient to have a custom URL.
Just to be able to type it into, because I don't have enough Instagram followers to put. Yeah, everything is so prohibitively expensive.
Oh, Instagram. They're another platform that really needs to burn in hell. In terms of just being awful to its creators.
While we're doing this, my political science teacher was all excited because her political activism class had built a TikTok, and she asked how many people were on TikTok in our class, and like one person raised their hand.
Really? Only one?
Yeah, apparently that's like 2 years in the other direction of people who are engaged on TikTok.
Wow. Interesting.
Everybody at least in Georgia is like, no, TikTok is the devil.
Interesting. So you think TikTok is like early 20s now and teens have moved on to something else?
No, everybody in my class is on Instagram.
That's strange that Instagram is still in vogue for people that young.
In Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia's still very much like TikTok's owned by China and is a propaganda tool by
I'm okay.
But
all right.
They're like, at least Instagram's American propaganda.
The month ahead. Move your thing. You gotta touch them.
I gotta touch him.
You gotta reassemble the deck. And do it in a sensible way and not a weird way.
Okay.
No cheating. Hello, emo cosplayer. Aw, thank you. Thanks for coming out. Christy says, I love Slime Rancher. I thought that was a pretty fun little game.
Yes, next time I go into Slime Rancher, it won't just be me trying to pest control my own farm. Because I went in and I was like, I should get a handle on the controls before I stream this, and all I did was capture pinks. And apparently that's a bad idea.
Okay.
They're the pest of the slimes.
They kept eating your cats and turning your cats into
pink
cats.
They turn everything into pinks, and then you can't make money.
Okay, here's your month ahead.
The music through your head.
Yeah, it's kind of loud for me. I don't know if it's loud for everybody else. Nobody's complained. My mic's very far away, in my opinion. I'm gonna crank it a little just more. I'm gonna be loud, especially because Austin's over there, so we gotta crank up that mic a little. Oh, that's not good. 4 of Swords is your current self. Depression. Hey, you got a shark. You got Godzilla. You got Godzilla carrying some sticks up a hill. You got Read 900. You got Live Scream. You got the Tower. Oh dear. And you got Justice. What an interesting spread, particularly because of where some of these are. Like, you've got the Tower and where to find support. Where to find support? A crumbling structure. Okay. Weird. Cool. All right. So the month ahead. I'm starting to learn this spread a little bit more off memory. Let me also adjust my my camera here so that we don't have autofocus issues. Let's just have it locked focus. Scooting a little closer. There we go.
Maybe scoot back instead.
Doggone it. I had it and then you bumped me. Stop! I'm not like Summers. I can't go off vibes. I have to go off my eyes. It still seems blurry. There we go. Perfect. Great. All right. So this is a monthly spread. This is basically looking at the next 30 days. They're good to do at the beginning of the month, but you can do them anytime. We are at the beginning of a month, so that's good. And basically, if I remember correctly, current self, monthly theme. This is the obstacle to overcome. This is your key goal. This is your obstacle to overcome. This is your major accomplishment. This is what to avoid, what to embrace, where to find support, and advice and encouragement. Yes, I've memorized it at this point. Cool. What I haven't memorized are the cards. So I still use my Galaxy Tarot app to get some advice on and some insight onto what these mean.
Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag could be sponsored.
I mean, they ought to, really. Mom finally bought her lounge fly backpack, Baby Yoda backpack. She was like, I want to spend $80 in this backpack, but that's irresponsible. I'm like, Mom, just buy the backpack. Like, the earth is burning. Treat yourself. Like, it's not that deep. You got disposable income. Go buy the Baby Yoda backpack.
I hate to say it, but inflation's a thing, and things aren't like gonna turn around anytime soon.
Classy Masley asks, have you guys ever heard of Doki Doki Literature Club? Yes, I've watched it. A little loud, but you're still understandable. I will turn down the music a little. Thank you for letting me know, Aria. So yes, I've watched Doki Doki. I think I watched Markiplier play it. Very good game. And I've actually incorporated some of Doki Doki Literature Club into the outline for live streamers, because it was one of the few horror games that has been in vogue in the past 5 years that didn't make it into the original live stream in terms of like being homaged, because I think it might have come out after. I think it was
homaged in Gravity Falls, which I watched last week.
I think it was, well, so I don't remember who I was talking to about it, because they were like, hey, have you played Doki Doki? And I was like, yeah, actually, there's a bit in live streamers that I wanted to incorporate, and then I remembered there actually is a subplot in live streamers that is basically Doki Doki Literature Club. It's just not, it's a subplot. It's not like one of the main levels. Live stream is hype. Yeah, I gotta write that script, Neb. Gotta write that script. If Michael Smallwood's in the chat today, he's gonna be like, go write your fucking script. Every day.
Browse cards.
Browse cards. There we go. Thank you. It's getting ADHD. Someone pointed out the Switch. Should I play Sword or Shield first? That's a question for you.
I played Shield, and I'm grateful that I did. I don't think I'll be playing Sword as well, because I'm kind of broke-ish.
Yeah, we're on single income now that Austin's back in college. So thanks for watching the stream and giving me ad ref, because it's literally paying our bills. Yeah, so we got the Four of Swords. This is your current self.
Exhausted, hanging swords on the wall. Yep.
I mean, yes. So it's basically, I said depression. It's really not depression. It's you need a rest. You need a break, which is funny because you're only 3 weeks into school. It's Labor Day weekend, Austin. You poor thing. Whether you're having a hard time working through a problem, or starting to feel ill, or need some fresh ideas, the best thing you can do is retreat to a quiet place. It's not weakness to require rest at times. Stress could take a toll. Take some time out to recuperate. It might also be advising you to seek counsel or go to an expert for advice. Or to keep some new idea for yourself for now. Let your idea grow in your mind before sharing it. I think this is probably more related to the needing a recuperation, because you have seemed kind of tired lately, and also you are here. I mean, you're here to compose the score for Fame Fatale this weekend, but you are away from school.
Interestingly enough, I am planning on talking to my academic counselor, because they might be able to give me some advice on Georgia and South Carolina are both part of the Southern Regional School Partnership, which should allow me to have in-state tuition at Georgia.
Yes, which would save
a lot.
$50,000. Yeah. If you could get it by next semester.
Yeah, basically that's the background thing that I'm working on almost every day, but not putting all of my time into it, because it's not going to happen this semester.
Yes. Emo cosplayer, can I throw some money so you guys? We do have a coffee. I don't know if a mod can throw the coffee link in the chat, or Patreon. I would say a Patreon is you get something out of it. Coffee is just if you want to just donate, but Patreon, particularly this month, is a very good month to be a patron, because we have a new movie coming out at the end of the month called What a Beautiful Wedding, which is written and directed by Michael Smallwood. It is about a black man who attends a plantation wedding, and it's a short horror film, and you can see the trailer for that on our channel. That's $1 and up patrons. It's all patrons, no matter what the level, will get access to that. We've also got some live streams coming up. There's like going to be a Fallout Sanctuary cinematography live stream. There's going to be What's the other live stream? More photo shoot editing from the Detroit Reawakening shoot in Photoshop. That's going to be for $5. And then $10 if you want to get the autograph for Joanna Curtella, who is one of the stars of What a Beautiful Wedding. So lots of perks on Patreon if you want to get involved with that. Yeah, but thanks for wanting to support. Yeah, don't donate through YouTube. I don't even think you can. Like, I don't think I have a donate link in YouTube set up. Do I? I don't even think I have a payment method set up for my OCTOPUNK Media account on YouTube. But good looking out. Yeah, so very tired, need a rest, need counsel. I can tell that, yeah, you're kind of financially strapped right now in terms of like wanting really hard to get that in-state tuition, and
it's not like I'm dying, but it would really ease my concerns if that were taken care of.
Yeah, it would certainly,
and it should be, like,
yeah,
honestly.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not gonna, I mean, we prepared to pay the out-of-state tuition. Like, we weren't banking on scholarships or whatever, and we've kind of been like, all right, it is what it is. But it would really be nice for the future if we didn't have to spend all that money. So it's kind of like, it's the difference between graduating completely fucking broke and graduating not completely fucking broke.
Yeah, I mean, it is just something that, like, by all logic and all of the systems that are in place, I should be able to do it, and I would like that to be done instead of just like passively accept my fate of being broke.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah. Oh, and there's also another card here which I want to put there, the bottom of the deck.
I know.
That'll be a surprise at the end. I always forget. I'm doing it so I don't forget.
Seven of Swords.
Oh, this means that you're carrying too much. This is your monthly theme. So this is a card about doing what serves your own ends, even if the means are deceptive or manipulative. Actually, so this isn't about carrying too much. I think this is the one. The ten of.
That's what I look like when I'm going to classes.
The 10 of Wands is you're carrying something that started off cool but eventually becomes a burden. But we'll get to that in a bit. The 10 of Swords is this is kind of similar to the Moon card, where like you are hiding something or somebody is hiding something from you. You could also be stealing something or somebody is stealing from you. This is all about using mind tricks to get what you want. Sometimes manipulating a situation is, called for. However, be mindful of how your actions impact those involved. So this is a card about manipulation. It's also about research. Sometimes research is indicated collecting the ideas of others for your own work, but beware of plagiarism. Or you could be guilty about something. So it's all about like guilt, deception, breaking agreements, mental tests, manipulation. This is your monthly theme. What are you up to? What are you hiding? You pretty sus. That's what this card says. Why are you pretty sus? It's weird. 10 swords is the too many swords. Well, 10 of swords is things have gotten as bad as they possibly can, and you are just collapsing under swords.
10 of wands is too many wands.
10 of wands is too many wands. 10 of cups is, yay, all the drinks. And 10 of coin is, I think, yay, money? I don't remember. Yeah, so this is an interesting card. Lot going on in this card. A lot going on in this card. In terms of your monthly theme.
See, and I am being read.
He's being read. I don't know. He's not telling me. He's just sitting there silently, being like, I'm not gonna tell you whether this resonates or not. Vote out Austin. Austin is the imposter.
Let's see. I am doing a lot of musical occultism research right now too.
I mean, you are doing a lot of research. I mean, collecting ideas of others, but where plagiarism. I mean, you are working on things in school, so I could see that. But I don't think that you're not the type to really be a cheater in school.
I'm not going to implicate myself in it with any of my petty theft, so.
You could be stealing time for yourself, playing hooky in order to be alone with your thoughts or to avoid confrontation. Could be avoiding confrontation.
I have not played hooky. I am paying too much to play hooky.
That's also true. I don't know. Austin. You tell me. What are you hiding? What are you hiding? Well, I don't know. It's your monthly theme, so maybe you're not hiding it yet.
Maybe I'm not hiding it. I'm gonna manipulate the state into paying for my tuition.
That's actually that's pretty close. Manipulating.
Basically, what I have to convince them is that me already having a bachelor's degree should not disqualify me from financial aid.
Well, and also...
Because that's the current...
Well, the real crux of it is the fact that you are an out-of-state student, but you had no choice because there are no public schools that offer your degree in South Carolina that you can attend.
I think the problem is they consider Converse as a public school, but it's only public as a master's.
And it's also only open to women, right?
For the bachelor's degree, it's only open for women.
Yeah.
They do allow men for their master's degree.
Yeah,
and
but
that school does not care about gender diversity.
Right. Okay, so your key goal is the Hanged Man. Be like a shark. That's your key goal. Become a shark.
I know the Hanged Man is more often positive than it sounds like it should be.
It is about new perspectives. So the key goal is to get a new perspective on something: patience, contemplation, and sacrifice. The greatest benefit will be had when you are able to let go. Don't control the present situation. Make peace with uncertainty. So that's the key goal, is just like stop dwelling on things that you can't control and just focus on the things that you can.
That's probably a good advice. Good thing to work on.
I actually pulled the Hanged Man this month as well. I think I might have even pulled it in this slot. I'll have to go look at my monthly spread, but I definitely had it in one of mine.
My journal's downstairs, but I think I pulled Hanged Man for my
recently.
week.
Yeah. A sacrifice might be required now in order to move forward as well. Get in touch with the spiritual aspects of yourself. You pull runes every day and tarot every week, so I think that you're doing pretty well on that. It is a good time to look at past tarot readings and journal writings in the new light of the present as well. And also notice the blessings that came out of hardship, review what has come before, observe your environment and situation from a new perspective, change your mindset. So I think that the sacrifice stuff probably isn't as relevant to you. I think this is definitely about making peace with uncertainty, particularly when it comes to waiting on the state to decide whether or not they're going to give you in-state tuition, particularly when, you're just waiting on a lot of factors to fall into place in this like new life that you have built for yourself. The government is slow and systems like higher education are slow. So just focus on what you can control, focus on your studies, focus on what makes you happy, and don't worry so much about watching the mail every day for news that will take a very long time to come.
Yeah, that's good advice. Good key goal to work on.
Key goal. So focus on that. The Emperor is your obstacle to overcome. Well, sorry, you're going to have to fight Godzilla.
Anarchy?
Interesting. So the key goal,
the obstacle.
The obstacle, you're right. The obstacle. So this can represent a father figure, which is interesting. I think probably not accurate in this case, because unlike the last time you went to college, you don't have to fight your father for money every month.
But I could.
But you could. Just be like, hey.
Hey, Dad, you brag about being successful with the stock market.
By the way, I circling back around, Mace also suggested hiding another synth. Is that what this means? That you bought another synth behind my back?
I don't.
You don't think? But you're not sure.
I mean, I am still waiting on a Kickstarter that I funded last year to come through, but that's too late to deal with at this point, so...
It's too late. It's coming no matter what. All right. So when the Emperor appears in a reading, it is time to think about logically and rationally about your situation. Rules, stability, and structure are central. If you have you don't have a position of leadership, I'm skipping that part. This card could be encouraging you to increase the stability in your life. There might be a need for you to set limits on your own behavior in order to achieve your goals. It's about power, structure, stability, authority. So I think there's two ways about this. In terms of reading this as an obstacle to overcome. The obstacle could be that you are falling into bad habits that are making life unstable, where like you would have more stability, like the what you're trying to achieve is stability, and that is the obstacle. Like trying to achieve that is the obstacle, right? Because it is hard to achieve stability. The other obstacle could be that stability is the obstacle, that the safeness and the comfort and, the structures that you're already embedded in are the obstacle that you're trying to overcome.
Yeah, I could see this as being like, either being read as I need to be more cautious with my spending because that's something that's going on, or I'm being too cautious with my spending and I need to buy my vitamins.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe focusing on what do you actually. I mean, regardless, either reading of this, I think the obstacle is to focus on what do you need to be stable, mm-hmm. and really thinking about that and thinking about like what are comforts and what are necessities. And I think at this point, yeah, you've put your vitamins in the category of comfort, whereas you've learned over the past 3 weeks that they might need to be more in the category of necessity. And I mean, I think there's other things too. Like I know that you've been eating very cheaply to save money recently. Maybe you should spend a little bit more money on food so that you're healthy and you're happy.
I'm eating healthy.
You think you're eating healthy? Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm
eating healthy. I'm eating very cheaply, but I'm eating healthy.
I've kind of been in that boat too. I've been eating a lot of like quinoa bowls and fruit because it's cheap. I probably have not been eating enough protein, but I haven't really been eating out, and so I haven't really been spending that much money outside of groceries. So I'm pretty proud of myself there. But I also haven't just been eating like frozen pizza, so that's also good.
I mean, I usually eat like a rice, beans, vegetables, and protein. So I'm eating pretty well. I don't do good about eating 3 full meals though.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that, I think just be sure to think about like what is, a necessity in terms of stability, what really creates stability, and trying to figure that out, and trying to figure, the obstacle being sorting necessities from luxuries. And some of those things that you consider luxuries may actually be more in the category of necessities, just to be able to maintain your quality of life and maintain your ability to work at your highest capacity.
I still drink my cocoa beverage every night, though.
That's good. I'm going to have to get you to make an instant cappuccino for me because I don't know how to do them. And I have a whole box of them. And I'm like, I don't know how to make these well.
It's literally instant.
Yeah, but like I tried to make it once and it tasted like watery nonsense.
You used water.
Apparently you're supposed to use milk, which I didn't know. See, I'm terrible at this. So the Ten of Wands is your major accomplishment. And like I said, the Ten of Wands is you've taken on something that seemed like fun, but it ended up becoming a burden. And this is your major accomplishment. So this is an interesting card for the slot.
Too many sticks.
Too many sticks. Your enthusiasm has resulted in taking on a lot of responsibility, so much responsibility that you feel now overburdened or resentful. When we try to do too much, we are unable to do anything effectively, and we miss opportunities for new inspiration. Pare down, remember our priorities, eliminate the unnecessary, take stock of priorities. Is everything you're doing serving your ultimate goals, or you've acquired some habits that take time and energy with little payoff? Delegate responsibility to somebody else if you can. So yeah, this is your major accomplishment. So actually, in context of what we were just talking about with the Emperor, I think that this kind of solidifies that. This is about, again, taking stock of what do I really need? What do I really need to be spending my time on? What do I really need to be spending my energy on? And if this is a major accomplishment, then I think that means that by the end of the month, you'll know that. And by the end of the month, you'll have a better idea of what is really important and what is kind of a waste of time and energy. Greg, what watery nonsense. I made instant cappuccino with water instead of milk. It was the whole thing.
So I kind of look at the Ten of Wands and one that looks like me going to class most of the time. Because I'm carrying around a saxophone on my back, all my books on my shoulder, and sometimes a guitar.
They're also both Godzilla, which I think is really interesting. The fact that we've kind of read these cards together. The fact that it's like Godzilla being like, ah! And then Godzilla being like, I guess I'll go to class.
But one of the things that's kind of a frustration that I am dealing with right now is that I go to drum circle because I'm required to go to 5 hours of drum circle.
What? But why?
I have to do 15 hours of preclinical training.
Okay.
And drum circle counts as music therapy.
Okay.
So I have to do 5 hours in that, and I do question why. Like, how did the drum circle get in with the music therapy teacher to the point where it's actually required? But I'm also signed up for two other ones. One group is actually really interested in me. They're a rock band.
Okay.
And they're like, we don't know if we can get you in on our group sessions, but we would like you to like work on backing tracks and stuff if you can.
Okay.
So I think I can switch some of my hours after the first 5 of drum circle into that, which I think would be better. And there's also a makey group, which is like, you've probably seen people like put wires into watermelons and play them like synthesizers. That's what that is. Oh,
so it's a fruit synth band?
That's a very simplified version of it.
I'm gonna join the fruit synths.
That's the other music therapy group that I'm looking into doing instead of 15 hours of drum circle, because the drum circle just does not vibe with me.
Yeah, I think you should absolutely join the fruit synths. That sounds more your speed. So I guess it's, that's actually a really good interpretation of this in terms of like, you've been spending all this time in drum circle, you know that it feels like a waste of time. I mean, obviously you're getting credit for it, but it doesn't feel, you're not into it.
The drum circle paid $20 for my
cool.
music therapy.
I mean, so you've gotten something out of it. I'm not saying you're not getting anything out of it, but it ultimately doesn't suit you. And it's kind of like, I can find something better to spend my time on.
A lot of people are going to spend the whole 15 hours in the drum circle because it's an easy thing to do, but it's probably not valuable to me. So
yeah, no, I think trying to figure that out is definitely an accomplishment and kind of goes with this.
And I would hope after, like, by the end of this month, that needs to be something solidified because I have a semester to get 15 hours.
Yeah. And you should jump in as soon as you can. So, the what to avoid is the Lover's card. Avoid me, I guess. But the Lover's card isn't about lovers. I think I might have pulled, I'm going to have to go back and look at my monthly spread because I definitely pulled this month too, and I don't remember what slot it was in. So, what to avoid. If you have a decision to make now, tune into your heart's desire, but also pay attention to logic. So this is about choice. Often in life, we must make choices, and when we choose one path, another is sacrificed. But this is what to avoid. So, interesting.
Maybe I should avoid making
big life choices. That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah.
And my runes tend to, like, tell me to stop thinking about making changes.
I've noticed that, yeah.
Mostly because
you've just made a huge one. I mean, like that, you've just made a tremendous one. And yeah, I would say, especially when you consider the fact that your key goals and your major accomplishment, your big obstacle and everything is all about finding stability and finding a foundation. I think it does make sense for the what to avoid being, avoid making a huge life change right now. Avoid making a huge choice. If you have a decision to make now, maybe put it off. Maybe do that next month because you know, it's find your footing first before you decide to go change your major or some shit.
Oh yeah.
The death card is in what to embrace. Death is about change. Also strange considering what we've just been talking about. The Tower is also about change, and that's where to find support. So let's look at this. Death is the card of ending before an utter transformation. It is the caterpillar in a cocoon on the verge of becoming a butterfly. Get rid of what is no longer useful. Seek closure and move on. This is what to embrace. So actually, it's not really about drastic change. It's about forget the past, kill it if you have to. Mm-hmm. You might be about to end a job, move house, end a relationship. This might not be an easy change, but it is necessary for maturation and well-being. If you've been feeling stuck, this card is advising you to look around and decide what to let go of. Only when you free up stagnant energy will new things come to you. If you were going through a time of painful loss, find solace in knowing that you will look back on this time as the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Let go and trust the universe. This is what to embrace. So yeah, quit fucking drum circle. Is what this tarot spread is telling you. It's just like, you gotta leave drum circle.
I still have 3 hours I have to do.
15-hour drum circle sounds like a David Blaine bit, says Greg. It's 15 hours across 4 months, but still. And a background otome. Maybe there's an otome club.
What's an otome?
Automaton? Yeah, you should start one of those. You should bring all your automatones to school and start an automaton club.
That would be annoying.
And fruit scents aren't. You're making a watermelon sound like it's dying. I don't know how that's better. Death and the Tower together. But the Tower is in where to find support, which is particularly interesting because the Tower is about utter change. It is about shock and chaos. It is about destruction. It is about questioning beliefs and structures and systems you've built in life. Assumptions you've taken for granted are being thrown into question. You're going to be forced to think in brand new ways. This is where to find support. It could indicate a surprising event, such as being laid off, discovering a betrayal, winning the lottery, so good things, or unexpected expenses. Someone could have an emotional outburst. This card might be a reminder to set aside a little money each month just in case, to have emergency supplies ready. Hopefully there's no hurricanes or anything in the next month that you'll have to deal with.
One actually just formed off of the coast.
Well, you're pretty inland, so I would hope that you wouldn't have to really deal with flooding or anything.
Weather was really nice yesterday.
Think through what would happen in the worst case situation and prepare as much as you can. I think that's more about what the Tower is. And see, we have a whole section here. As advice, the Tower is telling you to shake up your life, take a look at the deeply held assumptions and ask if they still serve you. Get outside your normal mode of thinking by taking a trip, getting rid of old belongings, trying something new, or exploring a new philosophy. Drastic changes are required. So I think that, yeah, this is trying to shake up life a little bit. What?
Avoid drastic changes.
Now, it's not, okay, so we're not talking about, this is, again, where to find support. This isn't telling you something to do. This is telling you about where to find support, which is different than being like, hey, go do this thing. I think what I'm reading this more as is it's a reminder to be prepared. Be prepared for the worst, just in case bad things happen. And also, I mean, the death card is about accepting change because we're looking for stability. And stability is going to require you to sacrifice some things. It's going to require you to give things up, to try new things, to figure out what's a necessity and what's a luxury. And I think that, you know, the death card in terms of what to embrace is embrace the fact that that might not look what you expect it to look like. There's a difference between maybe making drastic life changes and letting things happen as they happen and letting things unfold the way that you want. Because I feel like what this is telling you is to avoid just throwing things at a wall and seeing what sticks in terms of like, what if I change this? What if I change this? What if I change this? It's like, no, don't consciously just like try to change everything every 5 minutes. Look at what is actually serving you and not serving you and being like, how do I really feel about the things that I assume are going well? How do I really feel about the things that I assume are not going well? And try to figure out.
I heard embrace the chaos. I'm going with that.
Oh my God. So I think it's not embrace chaos. It's about embracing the idea of embracing the possibility of being surprised. Embracing the possibility of things not necessarily being logical, of things not necessarily being what you would have wanted or what you thought you wanted. I think, and also the Tower very much being about like a card of being prepared. The worst can always happen. You know, remember that can always be right around the corner. We are entering hurricane season and stuff. Maybe it could be something like that. Maybe it could be like buy an extra 24 pack of water the next time you go to the grocery store, just to be sure. Like that, or set aside a little bit money because, you know, maybe you just did have an unexpected expense. You're going to have to buy malpractice insurance and you didn't know that you were going to have to do that. You know, stuff like that. And more things are going to come up like that in your first semester of school that, you know, you just didn't know you were going to get charged for. And I think that that's also, you know, be a little bit careful with your money. just save a little. Don't buy more cents.
Justice.
Justice is advice and encouragement.
That's that.
I pulled that as my daily card a couple days ago. Balancing the scales. Actions will have fair consequences. Everything will fall into place as it is meant to be. The truth will catch up with liars and cheaters, and responsible people will be fairly compensated. Think logically. Don't let your emotions overwhelm your decisions. It might be helpful to list pros and cons of a potential decision. If you've been feeling out of balance, take time now to find your center.
What's this position?
Advice and encouragement. And so I think that in relation to the rest of the deck and the rest of the spread here, I think that it's basically saying, yes, things will fall into place as they are meant to. Again, don't feel like you have to force it by making drastic life decisions. Just take a good look, list the pros and cons, think logically about how you actually feel about things, and see where that leads you. And take a realistic perspective of your life. Not in a way that is ascetic, not in the way that, you know, society tells you, you know, you must starve on ramen if you want to save money for school, or you must, you know, do this drum circle thing if you want to, you know, connect with other students, or you must go do this or that because college says you have to. I think that it's just like be true to yourself and everything else will fall into place. So that's your advice and encouragement for the month. Now this card is, of course, the bottom of the deck. This is what you've been avoiding, what you've been really, really pushing down to the very, very bottom that you haven't wanted to look at. And that card is the Knight of Wands, which is interesting, especially because this is the aromantic card in terms of colors from the Pride deck. The Knight of Wands says it's about adventurous, risk-taking, experimental fun, and passion. The Knight of Wands is energetic, charismatic, and confident, has a short attention span and doesn't stay in one place or with one project or person for long. He needs a lot of stimulation and will often value adventure over common sense. He can be competitive, reckless, and temperamental. So this is like that animalistic, like passionate, like chaotic side. Have you been pushing those impulses down a little bit, you think? Some kind of like risk-taking or adventurous or impulsivity?
I haven't seen much of that opportunity, but this is about the month to come, isn't it?
It is about the month to come. So this is just something that you're kind of like there's something that you want. There's something that's kind of driving you inside, some kind of like passion or energy or impulse that you're trying not to look at, or will try not to look at, or will try to ignore. Interesting. Yeah. So there you go, Austin. That's your month ahead. Find stability. Let things fall into place. Don't dwell too much on things you can't control. And for God's sake, quit drum circle. Lots of interesting cards about change. Yeah. I mean, change in a way that is interesting, because usually when I pull spreads that are like a lot about change, or a lot, you know, I pulled a spread this past month that was all about loss. It was all about sacrifice and drastic change and transfer. Like I think I pulled the Lovers. I think I pulled the Death. Like I pulled the Tower. I pulled Ten of Swords. Like I've pulled all the cards about just like, hey, completely reinvent yourself. I was like, okay.
How are you gonna do the raffle?
Through Nightbot. Neb, help. Yeah, like I've pulled a lot of that, but I think your spread was really interesting because it was like, yeah,
This is on YouTube.
Definitely. Yeah, we set it up.
Okay.
We set it up. We did. So as I was saying, I think, let me go back.
Change weird.
Your change was less about, hey, make a drastic decision and reinvent yourself, and more about like, hey, you are naturally inclined to change right now. Let it happen. And I think that was interesting because, I mean, you are definitely in a transition period. Drop exclamation join in the chat if you'd like to enter the tarot card raffle. Okay, cool. I mean, is it already going? I don't see Nightbot, like, saying, hey, I don't know how this is supposed to... This is our first time trying it. Neb, I hope this works. If it doesn't, I'll just randomly pick, like, one.
I don't know if Nightbot's gonna be able to talk on...
We've set it up. It's literally functional with the YouTube chat.
Okay.
We installed it.
See Nightbot say anything.
I haven't seen well, we haven't set up commands other than this. But I mean, at the same time, it is very possible that it's chilling. I don't know. I don't know if is it like a 2-minute raffle, Neb? Are you just gonna peace out?
I'll be back.
It's like, well, I got my tarot read. Bye. Okay. Is my mom in the chat today? I was gonna maybe read her at some point. She asked me. She's like, I need my tarot read. I'm like, okay. I have to hit a button on the Nightbot site. Oh, you have to do it manually. Word. Okay, cool. So we'll basically get a few people in, and the powers that be will choose one. I'll give it another minute. Great. Still shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. Oh, rune casting? You brought them with you? Did you do one today?
No.
Little rune lesson?
Take your left hand.
Left hand, okay. Why am I left?
Grab some.
Okay.
And throw them onto your cloth there. We'll take away the
Okay.
The blank ones.
Okay. Which ones are out of the circle?
I had you just grab a handful so that we didn't have to worry too much about that.
Okay. What do all these mean? You gotta look them up.
I don't want to say anything wrong publicly in front of everybody.
Okay.
The central one though is Uruz.
What is central when there's 4 of them?
That one was like in the middle of your...
How can you tell whether they're reversed or not?
If they're upside down, then they're...
But they're all crooked. I don't...
There's convention on if it's left, it's one way. If it's right, the other way. If it's right side up, it's right side up. And if it's upside down, it's upside down, obviously. But I consider that Uruz to be mostly upright. That's a good health and advancement in career.
All right.
It's a good indicator of your wish or your dreams to come to pass.
Just in health or career, or generally?
Just in generally. It's a positive rune. A lot of runes seem to be positive to me. But
And is this daily or is this weekly? Like, what's the context for this?
what were you thinking when you pulled?
I wasn't thinking anything. I was thinking, I think I'm pulling 5 runes.
This is daily then. So
Okay.
good positivity, good health stuff today. It can mean unexpected changes, but usually in a positive way. Especially like if you were around sick people and you're like, oh, I bet I got sick. It's like a nope.
Cool. I did get a negative COVID test after coming back from the trash heap that was Asheville, North Carolina, so that's good.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. Hold on, let me. I'm gonna. Boop. That didn't land on a join. I landed on Arya Flynn. Have I already done Arya before? I don't think I have. If I haven't already done Arya, I'll do Arya. Cool. Let me know. What else?
He was there.
Okay.
That's about gradual progress. Usually has to do with journey, travel, so I don't know if you're planning on traveling anywhere.
Not till October.
Yeah. On the daily perspective, it's it represents movement, so maybe it's a suggestion that you don't just sit at home all day. We'll at least go over to
Your
the
mom's
families to eat.
So Greg says, I've had good times in Asheville. What was funny is I took a picture of the gigantic fan at the venue that I was at, and Greg texts me and he's like, are you at the Orange Peel right now? And I was like, yeah? And he's like, oh yeah, I've seen a concert there before. And I was like, okay, you clocked the ceiling fan. Cool.
This one's kind of an ominous reading of don't expect anybody to be helping you right now.
Okay. Yikes.
Count on yourself.
Oh, I dropped a card. I dropped the Wheel of Fortune.
You might be feeling isolated. You might feel lonely.
I do, for sure. I think that was the only one I
Some
dropped,
card
right?
you dropped.
Yeah, that's been true of the past couple weeks. For sure.
Even with your travel to Asheville?
I mean, that helped. It helped getting out of the house a little. But nah, it's been 3.5 weeks, mostly alone in the house. Shouldn't say that online, honestly. Shouldn't say, I shouldn't say, hey, come murder me is basically what that says. Damn it.
And this one's not super helpful for you either.
Oh.
This is about things getting in the way of your normal work.
Yeah, that's also been true. I've been very distracted by things lately.
It can indicate that there's some limitations on what you're trying to get done.
Yeah.
But you do have your positive one here that your dreams are going to come to fruition. So this is probably just something's going to take a little bit longer than you expected it to.
Okay. Interesting. Sudden rune reading as well from Austin.
These runes don't get used very much. They sit in my guitar case.
Your other ones are like tiger's eye runes, aren't they?
I have a tiger's eye set and I have a hematite set.
All right, Arya.
The tiger's eye ones are intellect, and the hematite ones are health based, typically. But I just like how the hematite ones actually roll. The tiger's eye ones, too many of them fall face down because the heavy side is the rune side, so I keep getting the same readings.
2 readings for 1, yes. All right, Arya. So, which order should we go in? Ema cosplayers from Scotland. I want to go to Scotland. Well, I mean, I'm going to England next year for the OCTOPUNK European event. I might try to go over to Scotland. I've really wanted to go to Scotland, but we probably won't be able to. Probably have to make a stop in Paris, because it's actually a far train ride from London to Munich. It's like 9 hours. Left over right, and then on middle. And I don't do reversed. I say this every time because I don't know how to read them. Now, Marissa does reversed, and she gets some really on point readings because it does make your readings a little bit more want to say accurate, but a little more specific. Like if you do reversed, you get some very, very specific and concrete readings versus just doing them upright. But I haven't figured it out. I've actually thought about it recently of like every day, like taking a card and really studying it. And then over a couple months, I will have them all completely down. And the more I read, the more I kind of become familiar with certain ones because they become zeitgeist cards. They come up frequently. We got a couple, wow, we've got a couple similar cards. I mean, it is what it is. Oh no, 10 of Swords. And the advice and encouragement slot. That's weird. Wow. Okay. So, current self is the Magician.
Magician.
That's a good card for current self. The Magician is all about personal power and setting actions, or setting intentions into actions. So it's basically the card that tells you that if you want something, you are achieving it of your own merit. Yeah, I mean, just reading it more specifically, you have the power to make things happen and the potential to make things happen. You have control over your own life. You have a vision. You're achieving it. Start gathering the resources you need to meet your goals. The universe is empowering you to manifest your vision. Stay focused on your goals and apply your power. This is your current self. So whatever you want, you're currently in the process of manifesting it, making it happen, and things are pretty positive.
You are the Cloverfield monster.
You're the Cloverfield monster. Everything is in your control. I also love that on this this particular camera, you can really see the Cloverfield monster even better than you can in real life. Like the brightness is kind of turned up enough to where you can really see Clover hanging out there behind the Statue of Liberty. So yeah, essentially, like, you're in a good place. You're making things happen. You are taking power of your own life. And intention and action are combining. And gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. What is the non-binary equivalent of that?
No, we joke about this on Twitter.
I don't know. Wasn't it like in between? I can't remember any of them. I remember one of them that I really liked, but I don't remember. I don't remember what it was specifically. But yes, Magician, you're a magician. Continue being awesome. The Nine of Wands, very pretty bisexual card here, is your monthly theme. This, honestly, it looks like a pretty good spread, except for the top. The top is very grim, but that's your advice section. So I don't know. Nine of Wands.
Wands are your air signs and have a lot to do with your...
Well, the wands are the creativity side, and you have a lot of them. Well, I don't know. You've got 3. And then you've also got quite a bit of swords. You've got 2 swords here, and I don't know what this is yet, this one at the bottom. Got a lot of major arcana. Well, I don't know. I guess 2. It's kind of balanced. Got an Ace of Pentacles. No cups, no emotion. 9 of Wands.
You're a wizard, Harry. Always reminds me of you're a hairy wizard being the response.
Oh, wow. I have a tattoo that says, I'm the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Fitting. Yeah. So that's basically what that means, is the magician. That's very indicative of the magician card. It is, we make our own luck. The Nine of Wands is a card about wisdom and strength gained through experience. This is your monthly theme. Think back to a time when you've been in a similar situation. What lesson did you learn then that you can apply now? This card could be serving as a warning that you think you know what to expect and have your defenses up to protect yourself. But things might turn out differently than you expect. This is actually, interestingly enough, my yearly card. This is the card that I pulled for the entire year, and it has been pretty true for a lot of things. It's basically the idea of, like, if you expect the worst, don't be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes things go better than expected. Even if history and experience suggest that they won't, there still is a chance for you to be surprised. And so this is like, don't be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Don't get in your own way. Like, be cautious, but don't expect people to give you the worst sides of themselves all the time. Notice how you got to where you are through your own choices. You are not a victim. If you are not satisfied with your current position, you can change that too. Also very fitting of the magician card too. I am the master of my own fate, captain of my own ship, you know. If you are not satisfied with your current position, you can change it. That's your monthly theme. So it seems like these 2 cards are very close, your current self and your monthly theme. You're currently in a position where you are being decisive and you are taking control of your own life, and that is going to continue in the month of September. And of course, the warning being just, keep your guard up enough, but allow for people and situations to surprise you. Don't put the wall up so high that you end up being a self-fulfilling prophecy and turning away or self-rejecting or, sabotaging your own situation. Sabotage.
That's part of why my throat is sore today.
Were you yelling sabotage on the way home?
I was singing with all of the Beastie Boys.
Oh my god. So the Eight of Wands is your key goal. This is
sticks falling from the sky.
It's a card of progress. It's the card, and it's in the pan colors. So that's fun. It is things are about to happen quickly. This is the key goal. Things are about to be set in motion, rapid communication. You're just going to start to get what you want very quickly. Once you set this into motion, it is going to go very, very fast. A warning here is you might ask yourself what you're rushing into and why. If this rapid action is in line with your ultimate goals, then go for it. But if you're rushing out of societal pressure, peer pressure, or just your own expectations of like wanting an answer quickly, take stock of that and make sure that that's not why you're doing what you're doing. Might be also a card about romance being passionate and relationships like kicking off, but connected to the other two cards, I think in context, this probably is more in line of like you're taking control of your own fate and you're starting to set things in motion. But once you set those things in motion, they are going to happen really quickly and you're going to see progress really quickly. So just bear that in mind. But this is also the key goal. This is what you want. You want things to happen quickly. You want things to happen, for the changes that you're setting in place with the Magician and the Nine of Wands to actually take effect quickly and to, not be a slow path. Because I also don't see in this spread anywhere, I don't see the, there's a Wands card that's all about, like, slow, diligent, steady work. I think it's the Seven of Wands? No, that's for taking a stand for what you believe in.
It's the I'm picking up a bunch of sticks.
That's the Ten of Wands.
No, that's the I'm carrying a bunch of sticks.
That's the fighting with a bunch of sticks. Is it the Nine of Wands? We already have the Nine of Wands. Maybe it's one of the swords. It's like I'm carrying a bunch of swords.
I dropped all my swords.
After my swords, that's self-defeating prophecy. It's, man, all these swords are bad. Seven of Swords? That's deceptive. Which one is it? I can't remember. Maybe, is it not the Seven of Swords?
I remember the Eight of Wands because they're like arrows being shot, and once you let go of that string, you're not going to stop them.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's Joe. Who's getting roasted or uplifted by the Gay Tarot, which is today? Arya! Arya says, I've been unsure if I should take a certain medicine or not due to past experiences, so maybe it's talking about that. I could very much see that of like if this is taking control of your own mental health or taking control of your own physical health, where you've set into motion trying to solve some sort of health issue, and I guess the key goal, what you want out of it, is for it to start working quickly and to solve your problems quickly and to make you healthier quickly. Remember that this is the key goal. This is what you want. This is not necessarily what's going to happen. So let's keep on and just make sure that we can see everything in context. So the Nine of Swords, this is about insomnia. This is your obstacle of the month.
I hung all my swords on the wall and now I'm sad.
This is about insomnia and worry, I believe, like being kept up late with, plagues of worry and that sort of thing. Plagued by worry, anxiety, and fear. Sometimes we don't deal with a situation in the light of day, it haunts us at night, but worrying is pointless unless it drives us to do something about the troublesome situation. Start confronting our worries and fears, start taking steps to solve your problems. Talk to somebody about it. Start taking better care of your health. Do something, it says. You are near the end of your mental ordeal if you start facing it, and if you continue to ignore your doubts and fears, they'll continue to haunt you. This is the obstacle to overcome. Now, what's interesting is... Don't stop messing with it. You don't need to be in my buttons right now. You're being noisy. Stop! What? Will you stop messing with my merch? Oh my gosh. So this could be your current self in terms of the obstacle that you're currently trying to overcome, that you're trying to find treatment for. Or this could be in relation to side effects that you will have to overcome due to whatever path you're on. Because remember, your current self and your monthly theme are both pretty positive, which could kind of go either way. Because if your monthly theme is, hey, you've taken action and, you know, you're going to have a lot of control of your life and you're going to be able to steer your own ship and everything. That's your monthly theme. That's pretty positive. So obstacle might be more current self. This might be more current obstacle that we're trying. This is the current problem that we're trying to solve. And I could see that as the thing that is pushing you to take command and to try to take control of your health. I would just be wary that, like, this might be an obstacle that is coming in September. And in that case, you know, at least you can see this is coming and this is to be expected. And this might just be part of the journey. But we'll continue looking through the spread to see if maybe we can get more context on that. As we just said, the Knight of Wands, because Austin pulled it.
That's an ADHD jerk.
Huh?
Knight of Wands.
The Knight of Wands. Yes, that is your major accomplishment. Which is interesting, because the Knight of Wands, he's not an ADHD jerk.
That's what the Knight of Wands is.
Oh my god. He's charismatic and impulsive. Okay, so maybe. He's charismatic, risk-taking, experimental, and fun. Energetic, confident, doesn't stay in one place for long or with one project, needs a lot of stimulation, seeks self-growth, and is always looking for a new challenge. So if we look at the positive aspects of this, because it's in the accomplishment slot, yours was in the avoid slot, or the thing you're avoiding. This is in the accomplishment slot. So I think that when we talk about fun and passion and charisma and self-growth, that seems to be more in line with the rest of this this spread. I think the accomplishment is that you're going to reach a place where you're happy. You're going to reach a place where you're able to have fun, where you're able to have energy, where you're able to, you know, have the challenge of self-growth and take it on and accomplish it. So, yay. Ian says, Arya stays up late at night because of talking to them 24/7. Yes, the tarot cards are saying, block Ian. That's my prescription. Block Ian, sleep more. Fully kidding. So here's your advice and encouragement section and like the therapy section. We've got a lot of like grim cards in here, which is very, very odd to see in this sort of placement. But let's see. So the Death card, this is in the where to find support. What to avoid. What are we avoiding? We are avoiding
Death.
Well, we're avoiding major transformation, which is interesting. But the major transformation being organic rather than a choice, like with the Lovers. So, you know, Death is the KonMari card. It is the Marie Kondo card. It is looking around, asking yourself what sparks joy, and sloughing off the stuff that doesn't. Getting rid of things, you know, cleaning out your closet, both emotionally and physically. You know, beginning a whole new chapter. You've gone from caterpillar to butterfly. This is the what to avoid slot. And so I think, interestingly enough, this is a bad time to maybe like start just getting rid of things. We're not looking to end a job or move house or end a relationship. We're not looking for any sort of like major changes. I would say, you know, if you're setting things into motion, focus inwardly first, right? Like focus inwardly on what you can change. Don't focus outwardly. And this is actually a really relatable thing in terms of if we happen to be talking about mental health, which I don't know if we're talking about mental health or physical health or whatever. But if we are talking about mental health, a lot of times there are people who, if they're dealing with depression, if they're dealing with mental illness, they will they'll break up with their partner, or they'll move to a new state, or they'll quit their job, they'll change careers, they'll do all these outward things looking for, what can they change to make themselves happy? Can I make more money? Can I get a new partner? Can I change my environment? Can I change my career? Can I change all my friends? Can I change my physical appearance? Whatever it is, like that they're constantly shifting through different identities, different life states, different outward things to be able to solve the problem of what's going on inwardly. And what they find is that none of that stuff helps. None of that stuff solves what's going on inwardly. And so I think when we're talking about what to avoid, being these major changes and like ending things, ending relationships, getting closure and moving on to something else. When we talk about what to avoid that, especially with context of the rest of this spread and what you've mentioned in the chat, don't look for changes outwardly. Don't end that friendship. Don't move that house. Don't quit that job. Look at the internal stuff. What is the root cause of how you're feeling? And can you address that before moving out to outward stuff? Because it would be a real shame. And unfortunately, I have friends and I've known people in my life who very, very clearly were dealing with inward problems that they decided to find outward solutions to. And they ended up losing a lot in the process. They ended up destroying relationships. They ended up destroying their career. They ended up, on the other side of it, much worse, because instead of addressing the stuff that was inside of them, they just kept changing things in their life to the point where they were like the ship of the Theseus. Nothing was left of the original and they still weren't happy. So I think that's my interpretation for like why the death card is in the what to avoid slot, considering all of the rest of this spread is about like taking charge of your life and, taking control and maybe making some changes. Those changes need to be inward. Those changes need to be self-focused and not major life changes from an outward perspective, if that makes any sense. The Tower is what to embrace. And again, this is pretty similar to Austin, I think, because his was in the where to find support. Remember to be prepared for things. Remember that, you can always have financial issues. You can always have an emergency happen. What to embrace is, being prepared for things. I think also take a look at deeply held assumptions and wonder if they still serve you. Because I think the Tower is also a very like internal card. When we're looking at what to embrace is like, how do you shake up things inside of you? How do you shake up the beliefs and assumptions that you've taken for granted, the things that you've always thought? Get outside your normal mode of thinking by taking a trip, getting rid of old belongings, trying something new, or exploring a new philosophy. Again, all very like inward things. New philosophy, like new outlook on life, exploring a new hobby or exploring something new, adding to the person that you already are instead of removing and ending things. We want to focus on positive. We want to bring more into your life and embrace more new stuff instead of like ending the stuff that you already have, if that makes sense. And that's honestly really good mental health advice in general, I hope, is that like when people are going through a tough time, I think it's important to like add to the positive first before you start like cutting stuff out. Because I always get very worried about people when all they're doing is cutting and cutting and cutting stuff out. Like they're just like changing things and ending things. It's like, try a new hobby first, try a new philosophy, try a new thought pattern, like try, a new friendship or a new hobby or like, a new habit before. And if those don't work, then maybe, maybe it's time to cut some stuff out. But it's always good to lead with positive things, I think, rather than like negative and hard things. Just because, like the positive stuff might work. Like try yoga before you like, move across the country. Don't delay, literally embrace the Tower today. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, this is where to find support. The Ace of Pentacles is a positive card. Aces are all about opportunity, and the Pentacles are all about wealth. So I think that this is like a new business opportunity. Interestingly enough, I pulled this the other day as a daily card. And I was like, I wonder if my client, like I have a client who, you know, every once in a while will come to me and be like, hey, can you edit some videos for me? And I was like, oh, new business opportunity? I wonder if I'm going to hear from that client today. And sure enough, I did. I heard from him that very day. Unfortunately, it wasn't like a new project. He just wanted me to like edit something old. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, it is like, hey, can you fix up this old thing that I've already paid for? I'm like, oh, okay. But I did get an update on like where he's at with his deck stuff at least. Yeah, no, this usually means like, hey, like a client's going to call you and like give you a new gig or something like that. Or you're going to have a new opportunity. You're going to get a job offer, that sort of thing. But it's also about the beginning of new projects, a chance to improve your health. I mean, there you go. A gift that you can use for further gain, like you're getting $50 in the mail from your grandma, money you could invest in a future new job opportunity, chance for promotion, new promotion at work, something like that. Time to strengthen your roots, to ground and center your body and begin building the foundation for your future. Might be telling you to spend time in nature and find some inspiration. But like all aces, aces are a seed that has to be nurtured. They're opportunity, but you have to seize it. But hey, you're the magician, which means that you are combining intention with action and you're already in that state. So take this opportunity to improve your health or improve your financial situation, whatever it is. This is where to find support. You've got the opportunity, you just have to take it. The Ten of Swords is advice and encouragement.
That's too many swords.
That's too many swords. However, I think that much like finding the Tower and, you know, you're where to find support, finding the Ten of Swords and the advice and encouragement, the Ten of Swords is the rock bottom card, which means the situation has become as bad as it possibly can, and there is literally nowhere to go but up. That's your advice and encouragement. It can't get worse. Wherever you are right now, the only way to go is up, and if the rest of this reading says anything, you're already on a path to do so, and you've already made the decision that enough is enough. I've had enough of how, you know, I've currently been living or my status quo, and I have the power to change it. And so I think that advice and encouragement, Ten of Swords, it's actually fitting. It says that, hey, this is you know, somebody who has been feeling sorry for themselves, and, you know, pick yourself up and get on with life. Take the lessons you've learned. Don't make the same mistakes again. You know, ask yourself what you have to gain by feeling like this, all of this. Yeah, so I think that that's fitting with the rest of the spread. Is like, this is a spread of somebody who has reached the end of the line, and it's like, I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm going to take power into my own hands. I'm going to change my life the way that I want to change it. I'm going to be happier. It's going to be fast progress. You know, it's going to end the month with the accomplishment of fun, passion, charisma, happiness, energy, self-growth. And we're going to remember that all that's going to be inward, and we're not going to make any like drastic outward decisions or anything like that. All of these decisions are going to be internal, and we got to work on ourselves first before we can change our life outwardly. So yeah, that's the month ahead. Ari says, I have been feeling like I hit rock bottom. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I think that if the spread says anything, you're already coming out of it, and you're going to have a really good month ahead where you will pull yourself out of it, and it's going to get better. The bottom of the deck is what you've been avoiding the most in terms of what you've been pushing down, what you have refused to look at, something in your life that you know you feel, but you just don't want to deal with it. And what we have here is the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Xenomorph. So there's this alien living in your house, and you really just don't want to look at it. The Seven of Pentacles, again, Pentacles being a card of wealth, which is interesting.
If I ignore it, it'll go away.
This is so funny that we've pulled this card, because this was the card I was looking for earlier.
Huh.
This is when I said that there was a card that is all about like diligent, steady work that's kind of tedious and boring and not about swift progress, but it's like the opposite of that. This is that card, and I didn't know what it was. I forgot that it was in the Pentacles. Actually, I'm full of shit, because that's the Eight of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is time and assessment. Okay, so not that mystical. Sort of the same. I mean, like, this is sort of the same. This is still sort of about diligent work, but it is not quite the same. The Seven of Pentacles represents a time of pause and assessment. You've been working on something, but now is the time to stand back and evaluate whether you're on the right path. What are your goals? Are you still directing your action towards these goals, or have you been sidetracked? Have you been in a similar situation before? And if so, did you do well then? What could you do better this time? If things are not working out the way you want them to, now is the time to look at what you can change. You are making progress, but some readjustments might be necessary before you can achieve what you want. Somebody else might also be evaluating you at this time. Try to learn from criticism without getting overwhelmed by negative feedback. You're not failing, you are learning. So if this is the thing that we're like pushing down really far and not wanting to look at, I could read this one of two ways. One is that you're getting feedback right now that you don't like, that it's feedback from a third party that is telling you something that you don't want to accept and that you just don't want to internalize because it's an uncomfortable truth, or it's feedback that you don't feel is in line with who you are at all, or potentially just yet. So that's one possible interpretation of like what we're avoiding. The other one being that this is the opposite still of the Eight of Wands. This is your key goal. Fast progress, fast, things taking off. The problems solved very quickly, problems taking care of themselves very quickly. Whereas this more about the like, slow down there, Ghost Rider. Things don't happen that quickly. It's an unfortunate reality, but self-growth takes time. Doing the work takes a very long time. Progress can sometimes be slow. And that is, I think a fitting card in terms of like being the opposite of the key goal and what clearly you want versus what you kind of don't want to look at. And that's the truth that like sometimes you have to stop and let other people give you feedback about what's going on. And sometimes you have to stop and ask yourself, okay, am I doing this the best that I could? I want fast progress, but am I jumping into the first option because I want it fast and I want it now? Versus looking at all the options or exploring all the different possibilities, or really asking yourself, like, did I take the best way about this? Like, maybe I should try something different. Maybe I should readjust. So yeah, I think that that's an interesting card to be buried at the bottom there. I don't know enough, with this format that we're in now to be able to say whether or not it's the avoiding somebody else's interpretation and feedback and not wanting to look at that, or if it's more about just like not wanting to pause, not wanting to stop, not wanting to do anything, but just go full speed ahead into progress and achieving that really quickly. But yeah, there it is. I feel like I got into the flow of this one. I feel like I got into like the mystic rhythm. Always warm up a little bit on my second reading. But yeah, so I hope y'all got something out of this, both Austin and Arya. Arya says, my physical health took a nosedive. I want super fast progress, but everything's going really slow, and I kind of don't listen to doctors because they're saying to be patient. Yeah, it's not something we ever want to hear from a doctor, honestly, even though it's always true, is like, hey, if you're going to try this new medication, you got to wait 3 months for it to kick in and to like tell you whether it's working. And it's just like, oh my God, 3 months, that feels like a lifetime, right? But it is what it is. And you got to give it that time, and you got to make sure that, you allow your body to tell you, whether or not you're giving it a fair shot in terms of, whatever your doctors want to put you through. So I would say be patient, but just the fact that you are looking into it, and the fact that you are getting help for it, and the fact that you are on a path of treatment right now is already huge. And that's already very proactive. And you are, as your tattoo says, taking, being the master of your own life. And you're the textbook magician. And that is definitely your current self. So that's it for my stream today. I don't think I really have time to do a third one. I think we're probably going to go get lunch or something. I don't know. But next week, you can join me here on YouTube at noon on Saturday, noon Eastern, for another episode of Breakout Roles, which will be our tabletop RPG stream. Next week, I'm going to be doing another solo RPG, much like the ADHD simulator, My Brain is a Stick of Butter, except this one is about asexuality. It is a solo player exploration of asexuality, but of course, I'll be doing it live with y'all, in a sense. So in a sense, it's multiplayer. And we'll be exploring that. It's probably going to be pretty pretty deep and pretty revealing, I think. Pretty emotional experience. It's called A Space I Don't Know, I think is the name of the RPG. We'll be doing that next week here on YouTube. And if you are a patron, you can expect a Patreon live stream this week as well here on YouTube. For $5 and up patrons, I'm going to be doing more editing of the Detroit Reawakening photo shoot. So if you want to get a look at more of those photos early before I post them on Instagram and stuff, join us on Patreon at the $5 level, and also get access to What a Beautiful Wedding later this month, our lovely new short film from Michael Smallwood. Anything that you want to add?
Go follow Austin Bites.
Go follow Austin on YouTube, because Austin streams games now. Slime Rancher and some other fun stuff. YouTube.com /Austin Bites. Yeah, because he's got to get 100 subscribers before he can get a custom URL. So let's make sure to go subscribe to Austin so he can get to 100 subscribers. As Sarah says, thank you so much for being here. See you next Saturday. And as always, stay great, hydrate, have a happy time zone, mod love, audience